This is some old drone shot footage from my old Point Atlas base. This was the very first base I had ever tried to do the real power system on. And to normal feelings, it doesn't really work out so well. The normal materials needed to build solar panels is just one metal plate, 30 gold, and 50 chromatic material. The batteries only cost 60 magnetized ferrite and 100 carbon apiece, so they don't really require that much material. It's just a very ugly looking system. This is why I do not ever use anything other than creative power, which I have dubbed and decided to name Nip Energy. This is why I use Nip Energy to power my bases, because I hate the base game power system simply due to the fact that with all these ugly looking things laying around, it just doesn't look very good. I understand some of you might want to use them because they are fun to do power systems in and glass cube design power systems. I'm not saying to completely quit using them. If you want to do specialized bases that use those, you can. However, it is not hurting anything on your normal save to go ahead and edit your difficulty and change your settings to free power. All this does is set you in custom difficulty mode. However, all saves can play together and nothing changes across them from what I know. You might not be able to harvest a free power base though if you're not in free power mode. That's the only thing I'm not sure on because I've never been able to get it a confirmation of if you need to be in free power mode or not. But as you can see here, this is also just a lot of resources of ugliness. I am blowing through resources, especially in the early game. If you don't really want to be doing this early game, just enable free power in your settings. This does not take away from the game at all. That's the thing. That is where you've got to draw the line when it comes to cheats. And I want to go ahead and talk to you about this a little bit in difficulty and play style and things like that. So play style is a very key thing to remember here. I have played a ton of Fallout 4 games, a ton of single player games, as this it pretty much is. It's a single player multiplayer, so everything you do in this game doesn't really affect anybody else but yourself, and maybe it can affect other people, but only in a positive matter, in that maybe you do something and you gave it to somebody else. It could break their game, but at the end of the day, it is up to them if they decide to delete the item or not. I actually have known myself to delete gifted random eggs in the Nexus and things like that. I usually don't keep those. On my expedition save, when I beat the expedition on phase 5, some random guy had given me a bunch of the upgrade materials for the alien spaceship, and of course I took every single one of them because, well, you know, I don't want to deal with getting the upgrades for an alien spaceship, and maybe I want to do an alien spaceship video one day. That's going to be useful. That really doesn't take away from my playtime because I'm not worried about an alien spaceship on my main save. My main save is where all my hours are spent in this game. You can play on more than one save on this game too. That's the other thing about this game. It's so wonderful that every single save has a custom difficulty settings. This is where I want to touch up on a couple different things. So with dupe glitching and things like that, you're exploiting the game just to get things for free when there are settings in the game already through the difficulty settings that allow you to exploit the game and get everything for free. There are not things in the difficulty settings that allow you to place biodomes inside smaller biodomes or any sort of settings like that. Glitches come into hand and you can now do stuff like that, allowing you to grow a lot larger farms in a lot smaller areas, allowing you to be more diverse with how you build your farms. For the longest time, people have been building on the freighter like cavemen, harvesting 4 plants at a time when there's possibilities to harvest up to 800 plants off of one button click. I haven't done that one button click 800 plants video yet, but I'm telling you, we're getting there, guys, and I am about to start on a absolutely mad farm. I've seen the idea in my head. I want to test it out first in theory. We'll do a theory craft sort of video where we're doing the theory of it and we're designing the entire thing, and what we're going to do in it is actually go ahead and going to rescale a normal biodome into a large sized biodome. This will be allowing us to actually
go ahead and place normal sized biodomes inside of it, which we can then place micro biodomes inside of the normal biodomes. And in theory, if the collection box does scale with the rescale glitch, I have no reason to suspect it won't be scaling with the rescale glitch. I just have a feeling that, I don't know, it's interesting. I don't think the plot locations ever change when you rescale, but I'm thinking the collection box itself should be tied to the size of the object due to how it functions when it clips into another biodome. That's how we're able to harvest multiple biodomes in one biodome, is because they're clipping together and it's treating it like the same biodome. I'm thinking the collection box will scale with the rescale glitch. So if that's possible, we'll be able to make what we'll need a bunch of base computers for, but what we'll be able to make is a large scale biodome powered off of Nip energy, which you would never ever be able to power one of these farms that I'm about to be showing you guys. A mega biodome farm would never ever be powered. It would probably be right at 10,000 power, which is what your freighter could hold, but with 10,000 power on the ground, it's a lot different. As you've seen here, this was a 1516 biodome farm, if I remember correctly. This is an old video, guys. I don't actually have access to this base anymore because it's deleted now, and this is basically some of the last footage of this base. This was one of my first bases for my storage base. This was back when I didn't even use a ship-based storage system. I just used an import system where I'd leave ships full of stuff and then stick it in the normal 10 storage container storage system that just never did function well for me until I finally decided to do the in-game store or ship-based storage system. And I'm not sure what I was trying to show here. The original video, I'm not actually listening to the audio. I don't even remember what I said in it. I'm going to redo this video as a different titling and things like that, and it's a different theme and discussion. It's the same exact shots though. I was showing the ships here for some reason. I guess I was bragging about having a bunch of cool ships and having the alien ship now. Yeah, I think this is just showing you my ships, guys. So as you can see here, we have had the purged since, like, this was maybe only 20 hours in. I think this video is from like 20 hours in, something like that. I know we weren't that much in. No, we were at least 25 hours in because we had just done 100 days and then like 40 hours after that, and then it was like 300 days in already, and now we're nearing the 1,000 days in game spent. I can't wait to do the video title. I've spent 1,000 days in No Man's Sky. People do 100 days. I'm gonna title it I spent 1,000 days, and we're gonna do some sort of story-based Get Lord themed thing there, guys. Not to break character, but you know what I'm saying, guys. But as you can see here, this is pretty much it. I also have ammo, I guess. This is why I use creative power and why I don't think it's a big deal and why I think you should use what I call it as Nip energy. I'm out.